Look at that. Water for the northwest. Can't drink that anymore.
I always wondered why tap water tastes so alike. Now, after seeing this, it makes more sense.
A new map reveals how tap water riddled with poo was found in 10 UK regions. Experts have come forward saying this should not have happened. Hundreds are fed ill after tap water in South Devon was found to be contaminated with a parasite causing diarrhoea.
Stop drinking water from your tap. It is not safe. This map I'm about to show you is going to reveal the locations where faeces was found in samples of the water. Now, as you can see, you've got Anglian water and the Severn Trent waters that are actually the worst, but then you've got the United Utilities waters in the northwest and Northumbrian waters with 4 also. Obviously, at the bottom, it's not as bad, but Thames waters had 2, 1 there and 1 there, so it's not good. So there we go. Drinking water from your tap, is it actually safe in the UK? Because if faeces is being found in samples and you're drinking it, there's every chance we've all drank some in the past. And then if you're making cordials for your drink, your kids, sorry, as well, you know, people could be getting really ill. Really ill and not realise that it's actually because we're drinking from our taps. So yeah, what are your thoughts on that one then?
Hello and welcome everyone to another Blighty Blighted video. Let's watch another video together about the absolute state of this country. Now, clean running water is something we have had for over a century in this country. We also had our first closed bricked sewers in the 19th century to prevent diseases. We were the first country in the world to do it right after our glorious Industrial Revolution. It set us apart from mud huts and backward places in the world. Now look at us. It seems we have regressed. It used to be you had to watch what you had to drink in places like third world countries. Only drinking from bottled water and all that malarkey. I never would have thought I would be alive to see the day when this would be the case in Blighty. This country hasn't only gone to the dogs, it's been digested and come out the other end into a big pile of brown on the pavement. What's next? When will the British public get its first case of dysentery? I'm just glad I'm a tea lover. Boiled water all the way it seems. For your own health.
If you live in the UK, you will know that our water is full of literal shit. Not just actual droppings, but also full of fluoride, which is proven neurotoxin, sodium fluoride, loads of junk, loads and loads of junk. Even pharmaceuticals that get flushed, they'll all be coming through your tap. Personally, I went for a distiller. The distiller removes everything from your water. You do have to remineralise. So I distill mine. My nan, bless her, has just told me that she wanted a distiller. So mine's a 6 litre. It was like £170. I was like, Nan, you don't need one that big.
Hi. At Thames Water, we care. Now, you might have heard some rumours about us, but they're not all true. One of those rumours is that we've been dumping literal human faeces into the water supply. And you'd be absolutely on the money. But we sponsored a fun run last month and raised £176 for the British Heart Foundation. Some people say that we paid out £57 billion in shareholder dividends from your water bills. They couldn't be more right. But we fixed not 5, not 6, but 7 pipes in the last 2 years. So some people say that water should be a fundamental right and not monetized by big corporations. And they're the correct ones in this situation. But well, I've run out of buts, but is very lucrative. Peace out.
So it's February the 12th, we're behind Wisham sewage treatment plant and the river is full of all of this shit. Absolutely disgusting. It goes all the way down the river. We're just below Monmouth. And this section here, a few days before our new MP was elected, she stood there and she said to me, Angela, Labour government will make the polluter pay. Labour government will make the regulators regulate. Well, Catherine, I've got good faith in you, and I will hold you to account, and I will hold the government to account. And the likes of Peter Perry, who is our chief executive of Welsh Water, who was creaming off over £10 million in the last 7 years, he needs to be paying. You need to be prosecuting him. We don't want the bill payers to pay, because this is not our fault. This is not our problem. This is greed. This is greed from the top. And if nothing happens, we will continue to bring attention to this, and we will fight until our river gets the respect it deserves. It breaks my heart.
Crosby Beach, Liverpool. Once a quiet stretch of the British coastline, now cursed by a foul stench from across the sea. Raw sewage flushed from Dublin, North Wales, and even greasy Birkenhead finds its final resting place here on the shores of Crosby Beach. Authorities have tried for years to contain the vile odour by fanning it east inshore to the Potter's Barn poo pipe nearby. Residents have been trying for years to get the poo pipe moved to Boodle Docks. People have been fined for covering the poo pipe with bin bags, only for them to be removed, leaving the stench in place. Have you been to this place? Let us know in the comments.
You know how I frequently like to do a video every now and again warning people of how bad our UK water system is and how our drinking water is in fact not fit for human consumption. Whenever I do one of these videos, I always get called conspiracy theorist, to some kind of ponce because I refuse to pay for my water, just every name under the sun. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm not actually going to say anything in this video, because whenever I do, I usually get a bollocking from TikTok or Instagram and my video usually gets removed. So on this occasion, I will let the facts speak for themselves.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and another day and another example of the depths of failure that this government have taken us. I cannot believe that I am about to say this, but after 14 long years of Conservative rule in 21st century Britain, our water is no longer safe to drink. The government will, of course, be flailing around desperate to clasp on to somebody else to blame, but this crisis is theirs. It's this government that must show some leadership and take responsibility for it. They were the ones who weakened regulation, leaving our Victoria-era sewage system starved of investment. They turned a blind eye and left water companies to illegally pump a tidal wave of raw sewage into our rivers, lakes and seas. Mr. Speaker, only last month, the Labour Party warned that our nation's health is at risk because hospital admissions for waterborne diseases have skyrocketed by 2/3 since 2020.
It's another grim record, and it comes as no surprise to the campaigners out testing the water today.
We need to be thinking about not having sewage dumped in our rivers at all. It's dangerous for the whole ecology of the river.
Across England last year, raw sewage spilled out of storm overflows and into England's rivers, lakes and coastal waters for more than 3.6 million hours. Put another way, that's 400 years of poo.
Shameful. This is just by the sewage works and you can smell it.
In North Yorkshire, on this stretch of the River Swale, the same was true. The hours of sewage up. Overall, Yorkshire Water's sewage stats last year did slightly improve. But according to the Save Our Swale campaigners who've been doing regular tests on the water, things are still nowhere near good enough.
You would expect to have clean rivers. We're being asked for a 41% increase in our bills over the next 5 years. That's outrageous. I want a clean river if I'm having to pay that amount of money.
Today's figures have been condemned by the Environment Secretary as disgraceful and the legacy of decades of underinvestment by water companies in the sewage infrastructure. The water companies, meanwhile, often criticised for years of big bonuses and shareholder payouts, pointed to near-record rainfall last year and said only now, with the bill increases coming next month, can the improvements really start.
Well, bill rises are never welcome. We understand just how hard it is for many people at this time, but it is important to remember that since 2010, bills have been falling. In real terms, they're 20% lower than if they'd merely risen with inflation. And as a result of lower water bills, we have not been able to invest as much as we should. So we're now sadly having to play catch-up.
What do we want?
No bailout!
When do we want it?
No! Many eyes today will be on Thames. The debt-laden, biggest of all the water companies, with all its existential woes, has been a focus for much of the anger. In today's figures, it's not among the worst for sewage spills, but it has had one of the biggest increases. And with monitors now fitted to every storm overflow in England, meaning more data than in previous years, the Environment Agency, which has also faced criticism for not being tough enough on sewage, warns the water companies improvements must now happen.
I'm really disappointed that the water industry hasn't got to grips with the maintenance of its assets. What we needed really was all of this evidence, which is now coming through, which is greatly improving both investment in the industry and our capacity and capability to regulate, to do something about it.
On the River Calder, we're with some of the members of the Halifax Canoe Club. They're a hardy bunch and don't let the cold or even the dark night stop them. They too have been doing their own tests on the water because of sewage spills. How bad is it when it's bad?
Really unpleasant. The smell of it.
The smell's horrendous and the water goes brown. We don't know when things are going to improve. We don't know when it's going to be bad. We just have to risk it when we come down here to paddle.
And that's what it feels like, a risk, every
Sometimes,
time you go
yes.
in.
Yeah.
And so they'll keep paddling, despite the sewage and the smell, and they say from time to time inevitable sickness. And
Right, I have had enough of this shit. Literally and figuratively. I'm going for a glass of clean water from my filtered system. See you all on the next video.